Let's get a check on our weather. Nothing like that around here today,
No.
but we did have some considerable rainfall in some areas.
We certainly did. Let's check in with Bob for a look at our forecast this evening. Bob?
There's enough twist in the atmosphere to create these isolated small tornadoes, and you can see right now we have an area of low pressure out here in the Gulf of Mexico. It's an upper level low, as we talked about earlier. It hasn't worked its way down to the surface, but you can see some of these banding features. Had another tornado today reported near Brevard County, right there near Cape Canaveral. A water spout worked its way on shore. That whip into that center of low pressure off the Gulf of Mexico, causing those twisters to spawn. As far as the rainfall totals, right now it looks like most everyone will have at least 2 to 4 inches of rainfall before it's all said and done, and I think that number is going to rise a little higher, in fact, over the weekend as well. Heavy rain at times, followed by just some clouds for a couple of hours, 3 hours. The best chances for the heavy rainfall will be in the late afternoon and in the evening, using the daytime heating up. 40%, well, now it's now dropped down to 30% for a tropical development. That's good news on that front, but we have some marginal water temperatures at best, so even if this were to develop, it would not be much of a windstorm, but it's going to be a rainstorm regardless. We've already saw a little taste of that today with some heavy rainfall over parts of the Sun Coast. You can see those stronger cells producing the lightning just off the east coast there. We haven't had a lot of lightning strikes with these cells, but you can see periods of showers starting to develop again just south and southeast of Venice, pinwheeling toward Northport and into Inglewood. So it's not over yet, but that tremendous downpour is for the most part over at this point. However, near Hidden River, the rainfall rates just 10 minutes ago up nearly 2 inches an hour. That's tropical downpours, which reduces visibility when you're driving. We're still getting moderate to rainfall to heavy at times from El Conquistador Parkway up to Palma Sola, also into Holmes Beach near Cortez. All this again moving off into this area of low pressure, which continues to kind of sit here and spin. Although it is drifting off to the west a little bit, it's going to stay around for the next 5 days, it looks like, at least in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, with the heavier rainfall at times. Now, rainfall estimates from the Doppler radar site indicating a bullseye right there near Parrish, 3 inches in just about an hour's time, and then the lesser amounts all the way down to Inglewood. Check 2 Inglewood rain gauges down there, about 2/10 to a ½ inch of rainfall. Some areas may have gotten a little bit more with some isolated heavier downpours. You see this dry air here? This is going to help us somewhat in that it's going to entrain in the circulation. Eventually it will all moisten up, but we will still see the possibility of some moderate to heavy rainfall. The models are suggesting that too. There's the area of low pressure kind of spinning off, moving a little west on Tuesday and Wednesday. You'll notice there'll be periods of just clouds around, but then it kind of fills in again in the afternoon and evening. We're taking you through Thursday and even into Friday. Still showing a steady stream of moisture coming up from the tropics. The upper level winds are not conducive for this to develop, but we will still see some areas of heavy rainfall at times. And then guess what? This is next Wednesday. This is not this Wednesday. The GFS model suggesting that we may see another little low pressure system develop here in the Western Caribbean. And the news is that the European is also starting to pick up on this too, and it tracks off to the north. And so that could be a player next week, bringing us some heavy rainfall. The winds will not be all that strong over the upcoming days. They'll be out of the south, but when the storms are around, it could get gusty up to 30 to 40 miles an hour as they move on through. Again, I think the biggest concern will be the heavy rainfall. Not everyone's going to see the 4 inches, but some areas will see some extremely heavy rain. Over the upcoming days, you don't see this very often unless you're in summer. This is not the summer pattern. This is just associated with this disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico, but healthy chances for showers and thunderstorms. We'll even see some at night at times, but for tonight, I think just some scattered showers around. The heavier showers and storms I mentioned will be in the afternoon and evening, but don't be surprised by a morning shower or two. With an area of low pressure, storms have a tendency to breathe every so often and create showers and storms as they move on shore. So some heavy rain in store for us. Allow for some extra driving time throughout the next several days. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Bob.